secret to parenting? Well, the secret to parenting, according to the authors, is not what the parent does, but rather who the parent is to the child. What this means is that what you do isn't as important as how your child perceives you. When a child seeks comfort and closeness with me, I become empowered as a nurturer, as a comforter, as a guide, as a model, a teacher, and a coach. So this means that when they're looking to be close to me, that's when I have the most influence on them. A child who's well attached, I as the parent am her home base from which to venture into the world. The parent is her retreat to fall back to. All the parenting skills in the world cannot compensate for a lack of attachment relationship. Let me say that again. All the parenting skills in the world cannot compensate for a lack of attachment relationship with your child. All the love in the world cannot get through without the psychological umbilical cord created by your child's attachment. I want us to stop and think for a second about our relationship with our children. Think about each of your children separately. Is the attachment with this child well established? Is she seeking closeness with me? Is he seeking and getting my physical proximity? When I first read this book and I started to review my relationship with each of my 5 children, it was eye-opening to realize that the ones with whom I'm most challenged daily are the ones who are least attached to me. No one teaches parents about attachment. Yes, they tell you to lay with your newborn skin to skin when they're born, but no one tells you that the attachment relationship must be fostered every single day as they grow into childhood and adolescence. So now that you've figured out with which child you have an attachment relationship and with which child you will need to strengthen or restore that relationship, let's move on. So, what has changed? Parents haven't changed. They're not less competent these days. They're not less devoted. The fundamental nature of children hasn't changed. They are not less dependent or more resistant than in the past. What has changed is the culture in which we are rearing our children. Children's attachments to parents are no longer getting the support required from culture and society. Do you feel that society or your culture supports you in your attachment to your child? Think about it for a sec. Even parent-child relationships that are powerful and fully nurturing in the beginning can become undermined as our children move out into the world that no longer appreciates or reinforces the attachment bond. Children are increasingly forming attachments that compete with their parents. Therefore, proper context for parenting is less and less available to us. It's not the lack of love or parenting know-how that makes our parenting ineffective. It's the erosion of the attachment relationship.